Hello everyone, and this is a little bit late because this is likely going to be posted on the 26th. But yeah, I still wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas. It's a bit on the later side. I really had to rush to get this video done. I hope you enjoyed that showcase. So a while ago, when we were working on the Among Us project, for the shopping area, I designed this shop module. And basically what it does is you can give it, because basically what we had is we had 100 coins. I don't have the resource back on right now, but we had 100 coins, 50 coins, 5 coins, and 1 coins. So they all had a unique value, and you could basically put any combination of these in, and if it matched or was greater than the cost of the item you were purchasing, then you would be able to buy it. If it was less, it would cancel the purchase. If it was exactly equal, it would just give you the item. And if it was greater, so if you put more money in than was required, you would get the item and you would get your change back. So that last part is the most complicated, because basically what this thing does is it basically one by one, it's going to go through the items you put in, so your coins. It's going to add up their values. So say you put 2 100 coins and 150 coin in, it will add that up to 250, which it will then store. And it will compare to the cost of the item that you want to buy, essentially. And it can just check if it's equal, greater, or less. So yeah, it basically compares that. And then what it does is if the money you put in exactly equals it, it will just straight up give you the item, which is, if I can remember correctly, here it is. It will basically give you the item, and you could choose between 3 different items for any shop sell. So you could have, for example, what we did in the Among Us project is we could sell an entire armor set in one shop module, and you could select if you wanted the helmet, the leggings, the chest plates, or the boots. And if you bought it, then it would give you the one that you selected. Then over here, we got the system that returns the actual change. This is not the calculation part. This is basically where it stores how many of each coin it should give you as change. And then over here, we just have a little hex for loop design that I made, which would attach to droppers where you could give the correct coins and return them to the player. So overall, I was very happy with the design. It took a really long time to make, and it was an absolute nightmare to debug, because it is sequential, which basically means it's going to have to, for every step in the calculation, it's going to have to clear itself, revert to its previous answer as one of the inputs, and then put something else in the second input. And because of that, it is very slow. So yeah, there were a couple of problems with the design that I wanted to fix. First of all, it has too many values, because for example, over here, it stores the exact negative value of the price of the thing you want to buy. Which means it's hard-coded, it is impossible to access with wires, and you cannot change it at all. And over here, it also stores the positive version of the number, which is also... It is possible to access this with wiring, but it's still hard because of the water streams in this wire here. Another problem was that at the time I didn't really understand how this magnitude comparator worked all too well. So I just hooked it up and basically just said, basically if the number includes any of these 2 bits, then it would have to be wired differently, which is what these signs are for, which is even more manual work, which I didn't want. Other problem is that it's really hard to expand this design. Just in the way that I made it, it's going to be a bit tricky. It is extremely slow. Even though it is sequential, I felt like I could still improve on the speed a bit. It could take like up to 5 minutes to process like a fairly simple thing. And that was extremely slow, and I felt like a lot of things in here could be optimized. I thought the wiring was just way too big for what this thing actually did. And this design was, if I recall correctly, 10 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, it was 10 bits, which meant it was only able to work with prices and inputted coins that added up to a value of a maximum of 1024, which isn't very much. So I decided to make the next version 16-bit instead, which basically means you can have prices up to this, which I feel like is a lot better. So yeah, those are some reasons why I made this design, and it's better in a lot of ways. First of all, the addition of the inputted coins is much faster. I think it can go from putting one value into like adding the next value in like 3 seconds. Also, this design is really fast at detecting if you put in less coins than wasn't required. And it's also really fast at seeing if it's exactly equal. So first of all, you have the ability to change the price right here. It's not recommended to hot swap this while the machine is running because the change calculations might not work as intended. It's also much easier to expand this version, and you don't have to manually put the negative version of the price in. It is 16 bits, so it is capable of processing larger numbers. You have this system over here, which basically allows you to say, for example, if you want to be able to sell like 8 different items from this one module, you can just have a dynamic price that changes depending on what number you select here. And if you want to buy the first item, you click this lever, and once the machine is done processing, it will grant you the item in this dropper here. And you could even make combinations, like for example, giving these 3 items. So you can make like bundles or like, kits, for example. And you can like make a little decoder that takes like if you selected this first one, it would decode into a price of 10, for example. That's some of the improvements. The magnitude comparator is also now, or comparators are now also linked up properly with actual logic. Another plus is that it has these output flags, or well, signals. So basically you can detect if it started processing the change, if the player didn't put in enough money, if the machine is selling the items, if it's starting adding up the inputs, or if it's resetting. And you can use all these to customize the appearance or behavior of your shop, which is pretty cool, I would say. There's also this option for a dependency check. So for example, you could make it so that if the player, for example, didn't put in their key card, this would be powered, and that basically means that the player cannot activate. It will send a signal to here that it started processing, which, you know, I don't really care, but you might want to fix this if you're gonna build this yourself. That's just personal preference. I think it's fine that it's flags that it started. But what this basically does is it blocks the machine from starting processing your inputted coins. So even if I put a coin in right now, as you can see, it's not going to start processing until the dependency check is returning negative or false. So this wire would be off. And only then will it actually start processing. It's also a bit more reliable than the previous design. This would occasionally give wrong values. I haven't debugged this like too much. Or well, tested, I should say. So there might still be some like weird big values that subtract weirdly. So yeah, if you run into any of those, make sure to let me know, and then I can look into it. I'm ready for version 3. If there are any problems, make sure to let me know. I don't think so from the testing that I've done. But yeah, as I said, there might be some edge cases, or maybe my tests were just very lucky. I don't know. So yeah, I think that it will be it for me today. Yeah, I'm gonna go finish up this video as soon as possible. So yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video.